It's been described as one of the most heinous crimes in Canadian history. And today, the man behind it received the toughest sentence handed down since the last executions took place in this country more than 50 years ago. 24-year-old Justin Bourque will spend the next 75 years in jail. There's often criticism that a life sentence doesn't really mean life. As Ross Lord reports this time, it really does.
The man who killed their husbands is going away for longer than anyone in Canadian history.
At least our children won't be subjected to coming to parole hearings.
And I think it may help with future sentences as it set a precedent in Canada.
With a recent change to the criminal code giving judges far more leeway, Judge David Smith decided to use it, noting Justin Bourque ambushed the Mounties and only surrendered because he was tired, thirsty, and outgunned. With parole eligibility set at 75 years, 2089 is the earliest date Bourque could leave prison. The leader of the New Brunswick RCMP says he's satisfied.
The judge made his decision on that. We can all have our own personal decisions. We can have our own personal opinions. It's like you and I looking out the window. We'll all see different things.
Considering himself a freedom fighter, Bourque strolled casually in daylight through residential neighborhoods, hunting RCMP officers. Using a semi-automatic rifle to kill 3 Mounties and injure 2 others, a crime Crown and Defence call one of the worst in Canadian history, forcing thousands of people into a 30-hour lockdown before surrendering. While being interrogated, Bourque casually told investigators he hoped others would follow his lead. Only after a series of agonizing statements in court from victims' families did Bourque express any sorrow, saying everything he did came from hatred and feeling sorry for himself. Bourque's sentence might have been even longer if not for the absence of a previous criminal record and a guilty plea that spared families from enduring day after day of excruciating testimony.
It's now time for us to start the healing process as we piece our lives together as best we can.
You will never be forgotten, and your sacrifice will never be forgotten. I love you, Dave.
I choose to continue to fill my heart with love. I choose not to give any space to feelings of anger, hatred, fear, and resentment towards anyone.
Bourque's lawyer says his client was resigned to 75 years. They talked following sentencing, and David Lutz, his lawyer, says they didn't even talk about the length of incarceration. Instead, they talked about how Bourque should act in prison. Donna?
Ross, is there really no chance of appeal? Will he really be in jail for 75 years?
It's stunning to think about in light of life sentences not usually meaning life. But yeah, his lawyer says there are no immediate plans for an appeal. He doesn't have the means to do that. There's always a chance it could be overturned on a charter challenge as cruel and unusual punishment. But as the law stands now, Justin Bourque will be in jail until he's 99 years old, if he lives that long.
Okay, Ross Lord in Moncton, New Brunswick. Thank you, Ross.